This is the Olympus EPL7 and the Olympus 75-300 Mark II. I used this combination to shoot a game of tennis at the recent Davis Cup in Kuala Lumpur. In this video, I'll share some tips on shooting sports using budget entry-level Micro Four Thirds setup. Let's do this! When it comes to sports photography, many people think that you need the latest and greatest, the most advanced camera, the pro-grade expensive lenses to get the shots. Not many people can afford such expensive gear, and here is the good news. You don't need those super expensive camera and lenses to achieve good results shooting sports photography. That's exactly what I want to talk about in this video. For this Davis Cup, the tennis game that I shot recently, I used the Olympus Pen EPL7. This is a budget entry-level camera from more than 10 years ago, and I pair it with this Olympus 75-300 Mark II. This is a budget super telephoto zoom lens, perhaps the cheapest lens you can get for Micro Four Thirds with such massive zoom range. It goes all the way to 300 millimeters. I will share the tips, but before that, let's look at some photographs I've taken with this budget humble combination. Tip number 1. Make sure you have enough battery and memory. This may sound very basic, but I've seen this happen many times. Newcomers to sports photography, they were shooting the action, and suddenly the camera stops working because it ran out of battery or the memory card is full. What a bummer! Imagine the game is getting really interesting, the action is finally there, and you cannot shoot anymore. I cannot tell you how much battery or memory you have to prepare. It varies between different sports. Of course, if you're shooting only for 1 to 2 hours versus a full day shoot, you got to prepare very differently. So just adjust accordingly. Just make sure you have enough battery and memory to last the entire shoot. Tip number 2. Do not use silent shutter or electronic shutter. If you're using an older Olympus Micro Four Thirds camera that has the 16 megapixels image sensor, say the EM1 original, EM5 Mark II, or the EM10 Mark II, these cameras, the 16 megapixels image sensor has slower readout speed. Therefore, if you use silent shutter or electronic shutter shooting fast-moving subjects, say action or sports, you'll suffer some consequences. You'll definitely see some jello effect or rolling shutter effect. What happens is that you'll see some very unnatural artifacts in your photographs. The straight lines will be bent and say the tennis ball will be elongated. They look really weird in your photographs. One way to get rid of this rolling shutter effect or jello effect is to use mechanical shutter. You'll completely solve the problem. Full disclosure, these sample photographs of the rolling shutter effect, they were not shot with this EPL7 because EPL7 doesn't have silent shutter or electronic shutter. They were taken with my old Olympus EM10 Mark II many years ago at a different tennis game, just to illustrate the example. Now, if you have newer cameras like the OM1, EM1 Mark II, EM1X, you still have some jello effect or rolling shutter, but it is a lot less severe. It's not a big problem. You can use silent shutter. So if you have older Micro Four Thirds budget cameras, I highly recommend that you use mechanical shutter if you're shooting fast-moving subjects or sports photography. Tip number 3, use shutter speed priority mode. For sports action action, you want to freeze movement. The one parameter in the camera that does that is the shutter speed. Make sure you have sufficiently fast shutter speed to freeze motion. And for tennis, it is about 1/1600 or 1/2000. For other sports, I can't give you the magic number. You have to try it yourself. It can be 1/500, 1/1000, 1/2000. I don't know. Just make sure it's fast enough to freeze action. Tip number 4, use auto ISO. Don't waste your brain power adjusting the ISO along the way. A lot of things will happen so fast, so the more time you waste adjusting the settings on the camera, say manually tinkering with the ISO number, you will lose the opportunity to get the moment. It will make you lose moments. Now just leave it to the camera. Yes, the auto ISO may select higher ISO numbers than necessary. You will get a little bit more noise, but that's not the end of the world. Focus your energy in getting the shot. The moment, the decisive moment is what truly matters at the end of the day. Tip number 5, use single autofocus. For older Olympus Micro Four Thirds cameras, they don't have face detection autofocus built in the camera. Therefore, the continuous autofocus, the tracking of the movement, the performance is very, very poor. I highly suggest that you do not use CAF, just rely on the SAF that has contrast detect autofocus in good lighting with good contrast. The camera can nail the shot very fast and really accurate. Just use SAF, half press the shutter button as the camera lock focus, just quickly fully press the shutter button to get the shot. It works all the time. Trust me, it is more effective than using the CAF. Now, tip number 6, use short burst. Bear in mind that if you use sequential high, the fastest burst rate, there's no CAF, the camera doesn't track movement, and this is very frustrating because the camera doesn't tell you that. You can select CAF plus the sequential high setting at the fastest burst rate, and you'll be frustrated because the camera doesn't follow the movement. Now, the camera will only follow the movement if you use sequential low setting together with continuous autofocus, but I recommend you to use the opposite. Because I said already, the continuous autofocus is not effective. I don't trust these older cameras' continuous autofocus because they don't have face detection autofocus. I still prefer to use the single autofocus, and I will use the fastest burst rate, which is sequential high, but I do it in very short burst. I'll just burst a few shots, like 3 to 4 shots, 3 to 4 shots, very, very quickly. Because hey, Micro Four Thirds, we have deeper depth of field, right? Less blur. And also the lens, if you zoom all the way to 300mm, is at f6.7. In full frame format, it is like what? f12, f13. We have infinite depth of field to work with. So even if there's a little bit of movement variation, you can still pretty much keep most of the subject in focus. And that's the case that I see for the results that I get using single autofocus with short bursts. I highly recommend that you use that if you use older, budget, entry-level Olympus Micro Four Thirds cameras. The last tip I have to share, tip number 7, is perhaps the most important. Know the game. Study the game. Truly understand the game so that you are able to predict what will happen. You'll be able to prepare yourself. You know what kind of shots you're supposed to get, and you know what to look for when you're shooting the sports. Don't go in shooting the sports blind. Don't go in not knowing what the sports is and you just spray and pray and hope you get the shot. No, you have to be a bit more strategic. Spend some time, read about the team that you're shooting, read about the player, know the game inside out. Say for tennis, I'm looking for some explosive moments, I'm looking for really expressive forehand, the chasing the ball, diving for the backhand, I'm looking for the action shots at the volley at the net, I'm looking for some really, really aggressive expression on the players' faces. I know what I was looking for, that's why I could get those shots. No matter how good you are with the camera, no matter how powerful your camera is, even if you have the flagship level, most expensive gear, if you don't know what you are doing, if you don't know the game well, if you don't understand the sports, you already lose even before the game starts. That's all I have to share about shooting sports using entry-level budget Micro Four Thirds setup. I hope you found my tips useful. Let me know if I've missed some important tips or if there's anything else you can share. I would love to hear from you. Leave them in the comments below. If you found my sharing beneficial, if you've enjoyed looking at my photographs, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal. Links in the description below on how you can do any of that. Any support goes a long way, will definitely help me to continue making more content. Until the next one, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.